All righty. Go ahead.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back. We are Marty and Bola from Movie Unboxing with Marty and Bola coming to you with a Q&A. We want to talk a little bit more about writing, directing, acting, what brought us here, and all kinds of questions. Also, please add your questions below so we can have, answer the ones that you have. But we have what, 9, 10 questions,
We got nine
Bola?
right now, but hopefully we'll get to the 10th. We'll figure
9.
out the 10th one by the time we
Yeah,
get to
you'll come
10.
up with the 10th one by the end of this.
By the end
Follow-up
of the,
question.
if
Okay.
not, oh wait, we only got nine then. All right,
You
go ahead.
guys need to give us a 10th question.
Give us a 10th question then. We'll answer it in the comments. Cool. All right, go ahead,
Okay.
Marty.
All right, Bola, which role do you prefer, acting or writing, directing?
All right, so
What's your
I
favorite?
started off being an actor. I never really wanted to be a writer or a filmmaker, but I because I needed to create roles for myself, then I started writing and being a filmmaker. And I've started growing as a writer and a filmmaker. Honestly, I'm I think I'm enjoying being more of a writer and a filmmaker, just creating and stuff like that, as opposed to acting. But I still would prefer to act, but I think most of my focus, I think I've got to sacrifice one aspect of it, because I would like to be known as as a great actor, but I
Mm.
it's kind of hard to to do both and be try to be great at both. So you got to sacrifice.
Yeah, I hear you.
I still want to act, maybe like a supporting role or a minor role or small role and stuff like that. But I think putting more of my effort into writing and directing. So I would say for right now, I'm leaning more to writing and being a filmmaker. What about you?
Okay. To me, actor always, always. That has been my passion since always, since I've been a child. But I am really, really enjoying the dibbling in the whole writing and, sort of like I'm enjoying calling the shots and assembling the team right now. So we'll see where it goes. I have not directed yet, so we'll find out how I like that.
Yeah,
How
trust
good
me,
that will.
you're the first time it's gonna be a little stressful, but after you get done the first time, you're gonna want to do it. You're gonna be like, I want to do it again. Let me write something and stuff like that
Yeah,
and try
because
to,
there's something I think about bringing people together that will help you bring a vision to life. There's just
yeah.
something really, really cool about that.
And
So we'll see.
it gives you more credibility now because you can go out and
Yeah.
say, oh, I wrote and produced and directed this. I put this together.
Hmm.
That gives you
Hmm.
more credibility. Now you're not just the actor that they just called to just come act.
Right? It is
You,
it is pretty important to know other aspects of filmmaking, I think,
yeah,
because you're ignorant to the rest of the roles if you're just doing the one
yeah.
always.
You literally are the one creating this world. And now you can take
Yeah.
that anywhere. You can take that
Hmm.
in. All right. So number two, what is your dream role or dream film type, depending on what answer one, the answer to question one. So what's your dream
Yeah,
role
so
and dream film type? I didn't really get that question,
so
but go ahead. You answer it. Go first.
my dream role. I don't know. I think the exciting thing about acting is that, sky's the limit on who you can be and what life you can live.
Hmm?
So you can like go anywhere from love interest cutie to superhero, and I think that's what I love about acting so much. So anything is possible. And so I'd like to live all of the lives that are not my regular life, if that makes
Yeah.
any sense. So there's no like solid answer, I guess.
So I get what the question is. So for dream role, I'm going to answer the two parts. The dream role would be what you just said. Anything that I can't be in life. I can't be an astronaut, so I want to be an astronaut. I
Yeah,
can't
right.
exactly. I can't. I'm not a brave enough combat soldier in war. I would love to play that part.
I know. I
Um,
want to do like an FBI agent, detective, something like that.
I would love to be a detective or a mob boss or something like that. I can't be that in real life. So I
Hmm.
guess my dream role is whatever I cannot be in real life. I don't want to
But you
play
can
that.
tell
I
their
don't want.
story. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to be a Nigerian. I'm already a Nigerian. I don't want to play, even though I
Yeah,
gotta, what I'm saying?
tell me about it.
I don't want to play
Why
that.
don't you put me on the Russian roles then, Bola?
Well, wait a minute, you're not Russian, you're Polish. I mean, it's
It's Slav. It's Slav,
It's
whatever.
Slav, yeah, yeah. But I don't want to. I mean, we gotta play those roles to get noticed because it's a
Mhm,
bit easier for us, so we can get into it. It's for us to get
mhm.
noticed, but then we've got to
Well,
find a way to
here in
like,
America, it gives us range. The accents give you range, so
yeah,
that's actually a really good
exactly,
thing to have in
exactly,
your to showcase in your reel.
yeah. So I don't want to play that those ones that things that I'm doing in real life. I'm like, okay, I do that in real life. I don't want to do that. I want to be an astronaut. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So
my whole thing about people casting me as a mom. I just don't want to. I'm already a mom. I have the kids at home. Like when I get out, I want to have like the exciting, crazy life of like
yeah,
not a mom.
yeah. So for dream film type, uh.
So if you're a director, what would be the dream film type that you'd want to make?
I have two. The
Uh-huh.
first one really want to make is a James Bond film. I want to be able to
Hell yeah,
write,
that would be really
produce, and direct a James Bond film. That's why I made Killer Sinners and Spies, because I wanted to show
yes.
that I could make
You
I'll
could
make a
do it.
spy movie. And the
Uh-huh.
second one is I want to write, direct, and produce a Game of Thrones type show. Maybe a show or a movie or something that
And
epic.
this brings me back to what I was saying about like wanting to live all the lives that you can. Period pieces were always my favorites when I was younger too, because I've never been in those periods, but I absolutely love the costuming. I love the hair. I love everything about it. The stories, the emotions are similar, but you got like you get to do all of the stuff that I like. Yes, I would absolutely be in something like that. That would
Yeah,
be amazing.
yeah.
Like a
So,
fantasy thing, that would be awesome.
yeah. All right, let's go to number three. Go ahead.
What actor or director would you love to work with? Like the dream person that you want to work with?
Okay, so as an actor, I would love, I would as an actor, I would love to work to be direct. Damn. Let me see. There's a lot of directors I would love to work with. Right now, the only person that's popping
Yeah.
into my head is Martin Scorsese.
I specifically didn't say dead or alive because that opens up a whole new Pandora's box. So let's
Yeah.
just stick with the alive
So let's
ones.
just who's alive? So Martin Scorsese, he's still alive. So I would love to I would love to be in the Martin Scorsese film as an actor. As a
Yeah.
director, uh man, there's a lot of people that I would love to direct. Um, let's just say Julia Roberts,
Yeah.
because there's a movie
Okay.
that I have in my head that I'm supposed to be working on,
You want to put her in?
and I want to put her in it. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry, you got a role in it too, but it's a small role. This one, I think today I was listening to when I was at the gym, I was listening to that guy that was the independent director on YouTube when he was telling me about his film and how he cast the film and stuff like that. And he said like, at some point you're gonna have to raise some money to now hire somebody that's well known. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
And the other
yeah.
person was asking him like, are you gonna be able to afford that person? He's like, if you have a good enough story, they might say, yeah, I'll do it for this amount of money. It might be expensive to you, but it may not be what they usually are used to. I believe if I write
Right.
this story well, and the way I've
I
and that at
agree.
that moment I envision how I can write it to where I can get both her and Halle Berry in this picture.
Nice.
If I can get both of them into this, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. But yeah, so as an actor, I would like to work. Like I said, there's so many directors I would like to work for, but right now, who's popping to mind is Martin Scorsese as a director. Because of this movie that I have, there's so many actors I would love to direct, but there's
Mhm,
this movie that I have in my head right now is Julia Roberts and then Halle Berry. That could
mhm.
change, you never know, but those are the two that I would like to work with, just based on this movie idea that I have. So go ahead. How about you? As an actor, who would you like to?
I have to say Tarantino. I have to say Tarantino. He has been, this would be like the ultimate wow, would be to be direct and be in a film by Tarantino. I have always been a huge fan. Um, always, always. However intimidating he might be, and I don't know if you've heard the story, but he has done a double episode of some sort of CSI.
Mm-hmm.
one of those TV shows that are like,
Mm-hmm.
and in the story, one of the main CSI guys is being buried alive in a glass casket with deadly ants.
Mm.
And Tarantino made him method act laying in a casket with real ants for a while. And the guy later in an interview said, I love and respect Tarantino. His work is incredible, but I'm never working with him again.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. But I probably wouldn't even do the job.
So
I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't do it because I have
I
a
absolutely love to work with him, but again, it's intimidating to think that he's gonna like force method acting on you
no.
somehow, for it to look
I'm like,
better.
yeah, I'm not doing that.
Um,
Yeah. So if you were as
if it
now
comes
that you about to be a director, who would you like to direct?
Well, I've never directed anybody. I can say there's actors that I know I would love to be on set with and to work with as another fellow actor that I would like to sort of, I guess, learn from and have fun with, if that makes any sense. Melissa McCarthy is one of them.
McCarthy.
She
Who's
is
the name's
just the funniest person I've ever
what movie did she play in? That name's familiar.
um did you see Spy? Where Jude Law sneezes and shoots someone on accident because he's
No,
got
is that the
allergies.
is that the really big lady?
She's bigger, yeah. She's lost a lot of weight now, but
Hold
she
on.
is funny in everything she does. She's always been funny. She's already gotten my attention when she was just the best friend in the Gilmore Girls so many
Okay,
years ago.
I got it. I got it. I know her now. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
She
Gotcha.
was in her and Sandra Bullock did a really, really, really funny spy film where the a
Yeah.
police film where they're like
Yeah.
partners. It's just she's hilarious.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay.
I would
All
absolutely not say no to working with her.
right. Yeah, I got you. All right, number
Uh,
four. What part of filmmaking would you like to learn or try next? That's for you.
mhm. So I think I would like to learn camera work. I am always completely fascinated by the visual stuff, like by the light, the camera angles, the setting, the mood, blocking the scenes and all that stuff. And photography has always interested me already anyway. So I'm almost embarrassed to say that I don't actually know anything about that side of it. I want to learn how do I make these people look really, really good, make the scene like perfectly fit in the angle and everything. So I would love to learn more about that.
The same is for me too. Camera work and just just the bless you, and the visual aesthetics of how to make a scene, how to make one scene look different than another scene because one is an action film and one is a comedy or one is a thriller and one is a sci-fi. The visual effects for visual aesthetics for both all of them are different and how what goes into the mind of the cinematographer or the DP to make that happen, to make that decision. What camera, the technology, like what camera are you using,
How
what
do you
lenses,
find the angle,
how do you
right?
find
How
the
do you find
angles?
the angle?
I'm more interested in like how do you find the lenses? Like what lens how do you know you need to know this lens as opposed to that lens to shoot it? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like that just blows my mind. And I think that's the reason why I'm starting with photography to just start learning that on
Mhm.
a very small scale. So that would be something I
Yeah, it'll
would love.
probably translate for the most part,
Yeah, it
with
probably will.
video.
But that's one aspect that I would love to a camera work just like you two. All right, the next one, go ahead.
Mhm. What challenges in filmmaking would you wish to never have to deal with again?
So many. First things first that comes to mind
Is there? What is
is
it?
I said there's many, but the first one, the main one um is I don't want to deal with difficult actors or actresses. You know,
Yeah,
I
that's
just
hard.
yeah,
There's always a prima donna
there's
somewhere.
always a prima donna somewhere. Somebody thinks they're the star. I'm like, bro, you're in an independent, low budget independent film. What star are you? Like, relax. You know what I'm saying? Like
People don't
they,
actually listen to directions. That I would struggle with. If I'm your
yeah,
director, listen to my direction, dude.
and they just have some of them they want to I like to hear your input, like what you want to say, but don't try to like force it on me, or try to do it in a
Yeah,
public way to like make it seem like you know better. I'm like, if you need to say something, hey, pull me
yeah,
to the side and say something, because Trey would pull me to the side if he's trying to give me an advice or an idea. He'll just pull me to the side like, look,
yeah,
why don't you try this and this and this or something like that, and I'll be like, okay,
yeah.
if I like it, I'll be like, okay, let's try it. If not, I'll be like, let's still work my way and stuff like that,
Not my
you know.
vision. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so I think that will be the main one. Then the other one is probably with challenges in filmmaking. I just think there are things that I think whatever that you can't control. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
maybe like
Like an
raising a
airplane flying in the middle of a dialogue, and you have to reshoot the whole scene because of the sound.
exactly, you know what I'm saying? You
And
can't
that's sort of where I'm going with my answer.
yeah, and trust me, with Killer Sinners and Spies, we had a couple of scenes where the plane was just, I'm like, oh my God, it took the editor a
Yeah. And
while to
so
it took him a while to find
fix
the
it.
shot where he had to piece a whole lot of shots just to make sure the plane doesn't sound on, because it's pretty loud. And and that's something
Yeah.
I gotta, like, you know what? Next time I'm gonna make sure that we don't film anywhere near the airport. Like never again. Like never again. Anywhere near
Yeah.
the airport where we can't
The
control
outdoor
this.
scenes at least.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think another thing is just the money part of filmmaking. Just being able to raise the
The
money,
budget, and that would have been
the
my
budget.
answer too.
That's the big one.
It
Raising
comes down to budget because
it,
if you have a high budget, then you can find a location with no airplanes at the time. You know what I mean?
exactly. But not only budget for filming, but the budget for like marketing and promoting now. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Because that's equally important. So if you spend like 15,000 to make the film, they tell you got to at least have half of that to promote. And for most
Right.
filmmakers, just getting that 15,000 to make that film, that's it. You're tapped out financially. And then you're
Yeah.
like, well, I got to make
Yeah.
half of that I got to get half of that to promote. Like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
your promoting and distribution is kind of limited. So you want to have a lot of money, and to raise that kind of money is very hard as an independent filmmaker. So it's good to
Mhm.
work for Hollywood or for Netflix or something like that, because they pay you a lot of money to do the film. So it's good to do. Independent is not it's not the it's good to start off independent
Mhm.
just to
Not
learn.
ideal.
Yeah, but it's not ideal to me. I don't think it's an ideal thing for a career.
Well, the thing about independent is that Netflix will pay you, but they will control what you're doing. So now they're saying, okay, but this guy in that role needs to have a different color or needs to be gay because that's what they need to present it in their story.
Yeah.
Like, that's the truth. Like, they will change your story for you because it needs to fit in their demographic. And
Is there a way we
so
can
that's the point where the independent comes from.
um
Independent is that nobody will meddle in your story. You,
mhm,
for example, the way I wrote my script, that really doesn't matter. Like none of it matters. Like everything is any ethnicity. Everything was like even age-wise, it was kind of like 30s and up because technically, who's to say the drug dealer can't be in his 60s? Like, you know what I mean? But like, um, they will they will change little aspects of it for to fit their like little,
yeah.
structure
Yeah.
and their requirements, and that's what you're getting paid for.
But I
So,
think I agree with you, but I think also Netflix and Amazon Prime and stuff are not as stringent as Hollywood is. I think Hollywood,
mhm.
one of the big things Hollywood is just wants you to fit this box, and they don't want you to get out
Yeah.
of that box. I think Netflix and all of
Yeah.
those streaming platforms are a little bit more flexible
Open.
or
Yeah.
open to let you do the story the way you want to do it. Now that's if you have a name, like Tyler Perry going over to Netflix. I think he has more leverage to do the film the way he wants to do it
Hmm.
without Netflix, because they know he has an audience. He has a big name. He has a big voice, so he can do it. They trust
Yeah.
his vision, as opposed to like if I went in there, they'll be like, nah, we're giving you a chance. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So yeah, so that it's a double-edged sword. You just gotta you just gotta hope for the best, I guess. So, um,
Yeah,
yeah,
so my answer was to budget. Like I think budgeting in general is not something that I would ever want to worry about, but it is something that is my biggest worry, and my biggest limitation. And I think that's what it is. Like I don't um I wish we didn't have to deal with the limitations because we could do so much more. The other one would be sound. Again, I wish I would never have to worry about sound again because I have experienced that it can ruin a production completely if the sound is really, really bad. And it's apparently very challenging to get right. I've seen in a lot of cases. So, to get it without the echo and like, the one film that we watched where like every shot and of every scene, the sound was different, the background noise was different. Like it's just it's a challenge that I hope I won't be frustrated with coming forward.
yeah, yeah. Sound can be a thing. All right, so the next one, that's me, right? Reading number six.
Yes, and I think it's number 6.
Yeah, what do you wish was more accessible for us in the low budget indie industry, in the film industry? Was more accessible to us?
Um, I want to say special effects because we can't really get them here. Like if you want to do an action film and stuff like that. But in general, I don't know. Like it seems like there's like the whole community here is a little bit closed off, and so like even location scouting is kind of hard. I sort of wish we'd have a location where you could have like the outdoors market and you can film there and like, I don't know. I guess it was the I guess I wish there was just more in general, I think, of the industry. But like Atlanta where I did Tulsa King,
Mm,
they have these huge halls of like interior hand built like studios of like rooms and gardens and all that stuff. I kind of wish we had something like that here. I mean, of course I couldn't afford it anyway, but still I wish it
yeah.
was here.
I think mine is money. I wish we had more money for independent filmmakers,
Funding. Yeah.
funding and stuff like that. I think special effects, but AI is beginning to make it, the AI is getting a little better, so it's beginning to make it a little bit more affordable to use AI to like bridge the gap. Like, okay, we don't have money to shoot this scene, what I'm saying? So maybe we can use AI and put that scene there.
Mm.
So maybe, maybe if we can have more access to that, that will make things a little bit more cheaper. Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it just boils down to budget for me, money, being able to
Yeah.
fund the film because I have there were so many things I cut out of Killer Sinners and Spies I couldn't write in there. When I
Mm,
say I cut out so many things, I'm like, Jesus, this movie could have been way better.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But we just don't have the money to
Yeah.
do all that. So
Yeah.
I just had to cut them out.
Hmm.
So it is what it is. So I think for
Same with
me,
effects, I guess.
yeah, the funny to me is it's the main thing for me is budget. It's just film. It's funding. I mean, just being able to have access to money to be able to comfortably shoot the
To
film
really put it into your film, yeah.
exactly and make the vision work for you. It doesn't have to be anything out of the ordinary. It could, I think with 20,000, $30,000, you can make a really good feature film here in Charlotte.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, but it's
Yeah.
just hard to have that kind of money. And you don't want to keep asking people, you know what I'm saying? Because that's a huge investment. But anyway, number seven, that's you.
If you were not into filmmaking, what other line of work would you be pursuing?
Um, whew, I wrote that one, right? That's a tough one.
Yes, your question, dude.
That's my question. So if I wasn't into filmmaking, honestly, I've always wanted to be in the film industry. I couldn't think of myself in any other thing, like nothing. I couldn't really think of anything. Um, ooh,
Photography now, maybe.
yeah, but that's almost part of film. I was thinking like a comic book or graphic novel writer.
Okay.
it's something I'm actually thinking about trying to like peruse into, but that costs money too
That's
because to
cool.
yeah, because I reached out to like the artist and they're like to do like a 5 page is almost like $500. I'm like, damn, that's that's a lot of money right there. But I mean, to
Hmm.
try to get in, you gotta like at least present like a little you got to have at least done something. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like the short
Yeah,
film for comic books. You have to make a comic book, like a
right.
5 page or a 10 page, to turn it into like some of the publishing
Yeah.
houses. So I've reached out to like artists, and because I'm trying to, there's some stories with killers, sinners, and spies that I can put into film, but I can put them into graphic novels, you know.
Hmm.
And so just to make like a 5 page is like $500 or so, at least, So I'm just like, okay, I don't have the budget for that right now. I don't have the money for that right now. All the money is
I may
pretty
know
much going
some
to,
people.
yeah. You know some people? We'll talk more
I
about that.
might. I might. Yeah.
We'll talk some
Whatever I do, I always end up in some form of art too, anyway, no
Yeah.
matter what I do. So film was absolutely always theater. Film was always my passion. Um, I did as a kid write a lot, so I think I liked general storytelling, but music otherwise. Music would probably be the other thing that
Yeah.
I'd pursue.
And
Either way, I can't get away from
yeah,
art.
because every other thing else seems so hard to me.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It
Because
just
you
seems
can't
so
get,
hard.
it's not passion.
Yeah, it's so hard to me. Like
Yeah.
if I had to sit down and just type all day doing like I don't know what office job or something like that, it would bore me to death. I wouldn't do it. I would just give it up. And
Yeah.
no,
Just give
I
up
would
altogether.
I
Yeah.
would give up, and it would, and God forbid I'm married with kids at that time. Like I'm facing a divorce. Like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? So, no,
Yeah.
it has to be something like you said. It's either filmmaking or maybe I'm a full-time photographer doing like real photography stuff, or a comic book or graphic novel writer. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever thought about writing a novel?
So the whole writing thing was that I had this idea and I never thought I could do it. I just sat down and I started writing dialogue and suddenly it appeared, if that
Yeah.
makes any sense.
So I
You
can't
know,
write
and
in
then I
prose.
added some tweaks and found
Yeah.
an ending.
Yeah. So
But if I, so I need to just sit down and write. I did
yeah.
do that once before, but I just never get to the ending. Like I just keep going and it's
Yeah,
just like new
to me,
ideas.
yeah, to me, writing in a novel form, like a prose, is hard. I can't. I don't think I can even get
Yeah.
past the first page, right past the first. But writing in script form is is much easier, and
Because yeah, because the way I wrote the script too is I saw the scenes. I
exactly, you
saw the
see it.
people interacting.
That's the thing.
Yes.
And
And you
somebody
write
told
it
me,
shot by shot.
yeah,
Yeah.
and somebody told me that the reason why you can't write a novel, but you can write a script, is because your brain thinks visual.
Hmm.
You're thinking visual. Novels are not necessarily visual unless you're listening to them an audiobook.
You have to
Then you can
paint the
see
whole picture. That's the
you,
crazy thing. You have to paint the whole
you have
picture.
to paint the whole picture,
The
and I
red
can't do
cup
that.
was on the nightstand. Yeah.
No, no, I can't do that. So I tried so many times, and I just said, you know what, F it. I write scripts. That's my power.
And then
Graphic
graphic
novel,
novel is the same equivalent. It's like you've got the
exactly.
visual stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
And you just
So
write
and
the dialogue. Yeah.
exactly. So that one, I think that's fairly easier too. I'm not saying it's easy, but I find it easier for me to be able to like I can see it visually
Yeah.
and just put it down. So yeah, that
Yeah.
will be it. So number 8, do you remember the first moment you realized you wanted to become a filmmaker, an actor, and what brought you there?
So I was already in musicals when I was in kindergarten. That was
Hmm.
my music teacher saw that I was really good at it and she pushed me into it. I was 6 or 7, so I already kind of knew this was for me somehow. Um, I think I would watch child actors in films too, and I would think the same way what we were already talking about, like living all of these different lives, telling these other people's stories. That always fascinated me. I remember watching Casper and Wendy and thinking, oh my gosh, like I'm already getting too old and I can't be Hilary Duff's role. Like, like aging out of these roles already.
Mm,
Like it's just always been there. It has always been that aspect of wanting to tell a story, wanting to tell multiple, many, many stories and living all these different lives, sort of, that you're obviously not living, but you're telling these stories.
mm.
So no, not the exact moment I can't pinpoint, but it's always been the case, like ever since I was like 6 or 7.
What about the filmmaker part that you're about to get into? What really prompted that?
Very similar to what you said. It was initially I was thinking, I could write my own stuff so I could like use these things for what I am looking for to showcase in myself. But that particular story is really not that because I'm a mom there again. Like there's nothing, I'm a mom and I'm a wife and there's nothing special about my own character in it. I just had this funny idea and I was like, you know what? That would be an actual pretty funny short. I'll just try to write it. But general writing and directing, yes, it was originally the same thing. Like I think I have ideas too, and I think that it would help me showcase things that other directors maybe haven't yet given me the chance to show that I can do,
Yeah.
you know.
So I don't know that maybe wanted to be an actor, but I know why I started getting into acting. So we used to have like Wednesday night church fellowship at people's houses where we'll go to people's house in from church and we'll have Bible study and stuff like that with the kids. So I think one moment the kids put on a play and I was just like, why didn't they call me to do this? This is amazing. So my mom told me one of the ladies who was in charge of that. And funny enough, her mom was a popular actress on one of these Nigerian soap operas that we were
Mhm.
watching because we
No.
used to go to her house to go do the rehearsals and we met her mom. We're like, oh my God, that's that woman from that soap opera that we comes on that Tuesday, 8 o'clock or something like that. And so yeah, that was how I got into it. And I don't know, I think I was like what 7 or 8 years old at the time. And so, but I didn't know if I was going to do it as a career, wanted to do it as a career, but I can't remember when I really decided that I was going to do that. For the filmmaking part, obviously, I've said it before, I just wasn't getting anything. I was here in Charlotte, I was going on auditions and stuff. I wasn't getting anything and I wasn't going to move to New York or LA because I knew it was going to be expensive. I know I have a friend from college. She lives in LA and she told me that, yeah, don't do that. Stay in Charlotte. Don't move out to LA because you will get eaten alive. You'll probably do way more in Charlotte than you do in LA. And that's proven right. So, and I just decided, I think this was like in 2014, 15, and 16 when a lot of all these web series were popping up on YouTube. Especially a lot of these black produced ones. And that's when I heard about Issa Rae's Awkwardly Black Diary of an Awkwardly Black Girl, which later HBO bought it and they made it into Insecure on HBO, which really launched her career. But it started out with the YouTube thing. And when I saw all this stuff, I said, like, well, if they can do this, I can do it. I
Mhm.
should be able to write this and stuff. So, you know, and I
Yeah.
and that's how it happened. And that's how that happened. Yeah. All right. So number nine.
What advice would you give someone who wanted to become an actor or a filmmaker?
Uh I That's a number of advice. The first thing I would say
Yeah.
is try, who wants to become okay, so let me just say for the actor part.
Mm-hmm.
But to be an actor, I'd say be very, very observant of people. That's the
Mm-hmm.
first thing, because the more you observe people, the more you learn their behaviors in different situations,
Mm-hmm.
circumstances, and environments. So when you now get,
Mm-hmm.
that's something you can recall, for a role and be like, oh, people who act scared, they do something, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, in the moment, you know what I'm saying? And there are different ways you can do that. You can interpret that way. You can be like, oh my God, animated, or you can just be like, what? You can just be like, or you just be calm and just be scared, like, you know. So they're just different ways. But the thing is to just be active. Even as a filmmaker, pick up a camera and just start shooting. Writer, just start writing stories. Watch a lot of movies, watch a lot of television stories, a lot of television shows. Watch how stories are, try to learn how stories are structured, how stories are moving. There's a way comedy it moves that's different from a thriller or from an action film or from a horror. And see this which one's easier for you to write. And just, start developing those
Yeah.
stories in your mind and writing them down. Do research, go on YouTube or Google and research how to write a script. Directing, you got to get on the set to direct. You know what I'm saying? No one can teach you that on unless you go to college. But those film schools are very expensive. You can learn. You just have to get on set and just learn. And get
Yeah.
mentors. Get mentors like Trey Daughtry. You know what I'm saying? That
Yes.
could be your mentor. He can teach you how to direct, how to handle yourself on set, and all that kind of stuff.
You should be reading my script today, by the
Oh,
way.
for real? Okay. Has he got
Probably
back to you yet?
today. I hope you're reading right now.
Yeah, he's probably yeah. No, actually, he's coming back from Atlanta. So he went to Atlanta to do a showcase, and so he's probably already back now. But yeah,
Oh,
acting. Get on YouTube. I mean, I say YouTube. Get on Facebook acting groups in your local city or something like that and join them and try to find out auditions for like
yep.
plays and that's how you make connections because you start off with a play a regional play and somebody will be like, oh, I'm doing this movie, how do I audition for movie or something. Maybe you start out with a student film, one very low budget film, even if it's the crappy filmmakers and stuff like. Well, you want to be safe. You want to go to people who are serious and safe. But try to take as many jobs as you can. Most, you
First
sometimes you
ones are
don't
going to be unpaid.
unpaid. You know what I'm saying? But that's fine. Don't give up your day job. But it's good to get some roles that you don't get paid because you're making connections and stuff like that. And
Yes.
yeah. So you know, just try to go online and just whatever city you're finding, just finding acting jobs, theater acting jobs, film acting jobs, student acting jobs, and you'll find a whole lot of it. Universities and all that kind of stuff. They audition people not just from the university. I've done a couple of plays at CPCC.
Universities are a good place. They're unpaid, but they're a safe place.
They
So,
say place
and they have
CPCC.
little shorts that they need to do to
Universities are the
showcase
best
like
place. Yeah,
finals
because
and stuff.
you can
Yeah.
do the play. You can go. I've done like a couple of plays at CPCC. I was never a student there, but I never got paid. But I got opportunities to go. Um, and also they have information about students who are shooting films and stuff like that. You can also go act in those ones, and then from there you can start collaborating with them. Like, hey, let's write this movie together and stuff like that. That's pretty much it. It's just taking action. What about you?
So mine, yeah, yeah, and my answer would be never give up. That's the most important thing. Never give up. Create. And a big one is have no shame. Yes.
Yeah, have no shame. Yeah. If
But
you,
to say like the auditioning process and all of this stuff, actors need to know in advance that you cannot take these things personally. There's roles that are just not meant to you. They're not meant for you. There's so many reasons for that, and it does not mean it's a statement on your acting talent at all. Now, taking acting classes is a great idea. It's also a great place to network, but in general, it does not always mean that you're not a good actor. It oftentimes means like I wrote these characters for my story. I don't know what they're supposed to look like, but when I see you read the lines, that may just not be it. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So and so you really, 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 it is like so crucial for actors that are starting out to not take this personally because it will crush you if you take it personally.
yeah,
It will crush you. You have got to take a step back and be completely pragmatic in your reaction if you do not get a role that you really want because um once you start getting emotional about not getting your roles, that's it for you.
yeah,
Like you're
yeah,
gonna start questioning everything about yourself. You're gonna get depressed. You're gonna want to give up. There's no point in that because it's not a statement on your person. You do not have to be prettier. You do not have to be taller. You do not have to be fitter. Most of the time, that particular role, the director or the writer just saw someone else in that role.
yeah.
It does
That's
not
true.
mean you're not good enough. And that is a really, really big one. Feeling not good enough because you have to be selected from like the one short film that you saw where I'm in the beginning on the phone and at the end on on the guitar. He
Mhm.
said that he had watched 59, I think he said 59 auditions for that.
Jesus.
So hearing that he called me and he said, "Oh my gosh, thank God, because I just watched 59 auditions and you did it perfectly, exactly what I pictured." It's an amazing feeling. But the competition is real. So it
Mm,
does not mean you're not good enough. It just means right now this guy or
is
this
better
girl have
or fits
written
the role.
something else. Yeah.
Fits the role. That reminded me of a play I went to go audition for years ago when I first moved to Charlotte, and I didn't know it at the time, but when I got there and I looked at the script, it was all the cast were white. It was
Mhm.
supposed to be for a white cast. I still said, "Fuck it, I'm here now.
Oh,
Let me just read for it." And I read for it, and the woman who was looking at me, she said, "You actually did a freaking good job, but there's no role for you."
yeah.
She was trying to figure out like where can I. She was it's all white
But
cast.
why? Like, I never.
Yeah,
Why
and
though? Like, what is the point? I don't
no,
understand. What was
yeah,
about
no.
the cast that
I
they
think it's
could not have been?
it was a play that was written a long time. It was just the story had to be all white cast. There was no way to just
Okay.
like Shakespeare where you can just like put plug in. It had to be. I didn't know it at the time. It wasn't until I got there that I realized that was what the play was about. And I was like, well, fucking, I'm just gonna audition for it. And I did, and the woman was just like, "You did a great job. You read well." Like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. But she wanted me to come back and audition for a pirate play. But it was the place was just so far out. I was just like, yeah, I told her I'll come back, but I never did. It was just so far out. It was
One of
logistically
the reasons I didn't get one of the roles that I really, really, really wanted, and I was apparently really a really good fit for it, and they've been coming back with callback questions and all that stuff, so it sounded like they were going to give it to me, and then the reason was that I was just so far away from it. They were
yeah,
like, "Look, we need you here for so many consecutive weeks. We can't justify it, you
yeah,
know?"
yeah. So sometimes it could just be logistics and stuff like that. So it is what it is. I do have number 10 now, and it's gonna
Yes.
be focused. It's gonna be focused on you. Only you can answer this.
Oh, why?
It's a woman question.
Oh,
So,
okay, go ahead.
as a wife, as a wife, how do you how do you navigate um as a wife and a mother, how do you navigate what you are asked to do on set? How does that, play out? Because
So,
you can be told to do something that you might feel like you're uncomfortable with it, be like, hey, I'm a mother, I'm a married woman. I
yeah.
don't know if my husband will be cool with this. I'm not even cool with this. But then I'm like,
Yeah.
I need to get this role. Is this going
Yeah.
to derail my career or something? So what are your thoughts on that?
So other than that role that I just told you about that other sex bot that I very clearly and immediately turned down and said I am not undressing full frontally for you for $600. Um, I have not really had the pleasure of issues like that. Most roles that I've auditioned for have all been pretty straightforward. I have had like situations where it's suggested that there's a romantic situation, there's a romantic relationship there, but I'm not. I'm kind of trying to make sure I'm setting boundaries with the directors beforehand. Like I read the script, I see that there's none such thing, and then I make sure I talk to the directors about it too. I was really, really, really blessed and happy enough, lucky enough to have mostly fallen into the right hands with this industry being what it is, you know. And I've met a lot of Christian people. So there is one role that I have. In October, I'm flying all the way to Nashville for a week to be in multiple chapters for a show. And he did reach out to me recently saying that I just want to make sure, touch base and make sure there is a scene, blah, blah, blah. Now, it's all suggested. I'm fully dressed, nothing. It's just suggested that we just got up out of the same bed, basically, you know. But he was like touching base about it. He said, look, this is a this is a Christian production and I want to protect all my actors and especially when they're married with children and stuff like that. And he was very good about it. But most of them are not, is the assumption. So it's hard and it's scary and it's true. It always makes me think of the first episode of The Boys, which I do not recommend ever watching again, but because The Boys just creep me out. But um, it's it's hard. We are very, very often put in situations in which it feels like there's no other way out, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
So, I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to select my roles in a way where there's no such thing, but
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know. You'd have
Yeah,
to
that
pay me
just
a
popped
lot
in.
of money.
Yeah, that just when you mentioned that, that's what the 10th question popped into my mind. Let me ask her that and see. And I think I want to do a maybe another unboxing something like this with just the women who are married and have kids, just especially those who are married, and just to see from their perspective how the industry how they've been treated in the industry, and just to unbox that and just see how what their experiences so far and what they're looking forward to moving forward as we start seeing that they're taking more control and saying no, we're not doing that. You don't need to do that. You can lock the you can we can hear the sound of sex in the room and it's established. The audience knows what's going on
Everybody knows what's happening. Yeah,
and everybody knows what's
exactly.
happening. Then you don't need to put me in a situation where I have to be naked and I have to simulate sex and stuff like that. And I'm uncomfortable. The guy's uncomfortable. My husband is uncomfortable. He has a wife uncomfortable watching this and be like, what the hell is this? You know?
Oh, do you know Portia?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Portia Petaway. Yeah, yeah,
I think she finished her
yeah, yeah.
oh
She
my
did.
gosh, I met her through you.
Yeah, yeah,
She
yeah.
finished
That's
her
yeah.
intimacy coordinator class. Maybe we should bring her on that day.
We should. Yeah, we should. That would be a good one to do. To bring her in. So yeah, so to me, I just think it's just as a director, I just think it's just unnecessary to have all these scenes. Um, because the more you just keep watching, then you just like, wait a minute, am I watching a movie or a story, or am I just watching porn? Like, what the hell is this? You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
it's just
I just think it's clickbait most of the time. It's just clickbait. People are like, more people are gonna watch it because it's like, did you see that episode? There's like all those boobs are in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's just taken away from the story. But anyway, that's it for what do we call this episode?
Our Q&A.
Movie unboxing by Marty and Bola Q&A.
Q&A.
Part one. There will be a part two one of
Yes,
these
please
days.
ask us questions. We're out of questions.
We're out of questions, so no, maybe we'll get it on the part two side. But the part two is probably going to be something more focused on women, married women in the industry and how they navigate and stuff like that. So that'll be it. But anyway, that's it for today's episode. Check us for the episode 16 of Movie Unboxing with Marty and Bola, which will be released, well, whenever. Check that episode,
Soon.
where we unboxed, what was the movie unboxed? Companion.
Companion.
And then check, obviously for this episode, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave comments, ask questions, and we will answer it in the comment section. If not, we will transfer that to the next
Yes.
Q&A part two and share the link.
Well, I
And
answer all the questions in the beginning of the next episode too. That's not a problem, right? If it's just one question every time, we
yeah,
can.
we'll answer that. Yeah, cool. All right, guys, we will see you next week for a movie unboxing with Marty and Bola, episode 17, Sinners. Finally. I can't wait. All right, y'all. Take it easy.
Bye.